Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Maria Borde here. I'm sure you watch my videos with autism tips and things that I discuss about autism in general. So I thought of making a video to tell you a little bit about myself so you can get to know me and I can get to know you as well, because I would love to know about you. So please leave a comment and tell me a little bit about you and your story, your family, or whatever you feel comfortable talking about. So a bit about myself. As you can tell, I have an accent, a thick accent. I'm sure you noticed that. I'm originally from Argentina, in Buenos Aires to be specific, but I'm living in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago is a country in the Caribbean. That's where I'm living. I'm also the mom of 3 children with autism, or 3 autistic kids. I try to use both terms because I know some people might feel comfortable using one term and some other people try to be more comfortable using the other term. So yes, I live in Trinidad and Tobago for almost, how long? Almost 20 years now. Yes, and of course it's summer all year long, so the weather is fantastic. I love it. I'm also an educator. I'm a teacher. I teach Spanish. I wrote a book called Autism Kingdom, a mother's memoir from orphan to raising 3 kings. And as you hear, the subtitle says that I'm an orphan. Yes, and I know for some people when they hear the word orphan, they have a lot of thoughts about, you know, what kind of life you had and all of that. My mom went missing when I was around a year old. Argentina was going through a political situation in the country back in the middle 70s, and that's where my mom went missing. Not only her, but along with around 30,000 people missing in the country. My father did not see about us at all, so basically abandoned us. And we were raised by my grandmother and my 2 uncles. And if you want to know more about that story, I wrote that book, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. The reason I wrote the book is to bring people together in a way, because I know there are a lot of people out there who went perhaps through similar situations, and I know that when you read the book, you know, you can relate as well, because you might know someone perhaps going through that. And I think it can give you a little more insight about why people do the things they do and why they are the way they are, because, you know, sometimes we just judge people and you don't know their stories, you don't know what they went through. And I wrote the book as a way to share my story with others, not only for that reason, but also to bring hope. Maybe it sounds very cliche, but when somebody goes through a lot of challenges in life, people always think, you know, that someone will have a very unhappy life. And the reason of the book is to say that yes, even though I went through many challenges in my life, there's hope. This is not the end. I also wrote in the book about my kids. I have 3 autistic kids, as I told you. I call them the 3 kings. One is 19 years old, our middle one is 13, and I have a youngest one that is 11. And I call them kings because whatever they want, they get, usually, you know, children in general like that. But autistic kids, even more, and I'm sure you can relate to that as well. So I lived, like I told you, in Trinidad and Tobago. I also lived in Argentina. I also lived in the US for a few years. And all these experiences of traveling helped me understand not only about different cultures, different personalities, but also different way of living. And all of that, I think, brought so much experience in my life that helped me to deal with situations that I think that if I didn't have that experience would have been difficult to deal with in the first place. You know, because my 3 kids, they are at different points of the spectrum. I have, I don't want to call labels per se, but let's just say that 2 of them are very good with verbal communication, and the middle one have a lot of struggles in that aspect. Now, one of the questions that I get asked sometimes when someone meets me for the first time is, how did I learn English? Well, in secondary school, we had English as a second language, just like you do have Spanish or French or Italian. And even though, to be honest, you learn some very things basic in school, but when I really learned English was when I moved to Trinidad and Tobago. When you move to a country where they don't speak the language, you are forced to learn it. And I remember the first year was hard. Actually, yeah, the first year was really hard. The first 2 years, I would say it was hard, because people will try to talk to me, and I could not understand anything they were saying. And there was a point that kind of like give up, that I was thinking, you know, this makes no sense to be talking because I cannot understand. But then something, you know, something inside me said, you know what, I need to go make an effort. I need to go out there and talk to people, even though I cannot understand. When you learn a new language, you kind of, your mind kind of switch from first and trying to understand what someone else is saying, and you struggling or translate it in your mind. And then the second phase is you feeling like you can actually talk. And when that stage passes, then your brain switches, which means that when someone is speaking to you in English, you're actually thinking in English. And when someone is speaking to you in Spanish, you can automatically make that switch without having to translate anything. You know, some of my students always ask me, Miss, when you dream, do you dream in English or in Spanish? And I tell them that I dream in both. It's more, when I dream, some of my friends back in Argentina, I dream that they speak English, and some people that speak English in my dreams speak Spanish. But yes, I dream in both languages. So yes, basically this is it. I just wanted to make a quick video, talk about myself a little bit, get to know you. I'm very social. I love to meet people. So please leave a comment. Talk to me about yourself, about your life and all that, so we can get in touch and communicate. I love to make videos to help you. So if you have any ideas of videos or something that you would like to see in my channel, please leave a comment and tell me. I would love to know more about you. And yes, and I hope that my videos can be useful and we can get to know each other.